This is the National Women's Soccer League on Bright House Sports Network. Heavy rains passed through Camping World Stadium, but they did not dampen the enthusiasm of Orlando Pride supporters anxious to see their team on the field for the first time in 2 weeks as the Pride host the Boston Breakers this afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Orlando with Eddie Rodriguez. I'm Austin Lyon. Thank you so much for joining us. As nations prepare for the upcoming Rio Olympics, 6 Orlando Pride players have been called up by their respective national teams. And Eddie, that means the lineup that we see today will be dramatically different from what we're used to.
That's right, Austin. Talk about 6, national team players, Canada and the U.S. Of course, you're talking about the entire flat four, and of course the goalkeeper in Harris, and of course Alex Morgan, who's the go-to player at front. She scores the goals, and she does so much more for this team.
You referenced Ashlyn Harris gone as well. The entire back line for Orlando called up to national team duty. So it will look much different in the back. Without Harris, the team has turned to Caitlin Savage. Savage was in New Zealand this time last week, signed by the team on Wednesday. She makes her league debut today.
Well, we spoke to Coach Romani, and he said we've had our eye on her all the way through preseason. It was kind of a bad timing by the time their agent called, but we were able to get her, somebody that he knows very well through the national team. She's here. She's practiced very well throughout the week, so he expects big things from her.
A player who continues to emerge up top for Orlando is Jasmine Spencer, goals in back-to-back matches.
That's right. We've witnessed her, just intelligence on the field. She's that spark plug, if you will. She came off the bench. She can score some goals. Huge athletic ability. She's got the speed. She's got the charisma as well, the way she celebrates the goals. But technically and tactically, she's been great.
It's been a miserable season thus far for Boston. Last in the league in goals scored, last in the league in goals allowed. They've had to endure several key injuries, but this is still a roster that's got some talent. Stephanie McCaffrey up top today for the Breakers.
Well, that's right, Austin. It's one of those things where on paper it looks worse than they actually are. It's a pretty good team. They just haven't been able to put it together. As you mentioned, great player Stephanie McCaffrey right there. They're just looking to put things together, and they're hoping that today is the day for them.
Just 3 goals scored so far this season by Boston. The Breakers haven't won a road match in nearly 2 years. They would love to end that streak today. It's Boston and Orlando. Opening kickoff from Camping World Stadium when you come back. First ever meeting between Orlando and Boston here on a Sunday afternoon at Camping World Stadium. Let's take you through the starting 11s. First, for the visiting Breakers, it's the 3rd consecutive start in goal for Jamie Kranich. Former Florida Gator Kristen Westphal on the back line. Today, the 89th match in a Boston uniform for Katie Schepfer. She has 7 career NWSL goals. And up top, it's the German Beckman and Massachusetts native, Stephanie McCaffrey. The Orlando lineup looks like this. First ever match for Savage. Wholesale changes to Orlando's defense. Kaylin Kyle drops to the back line, and Cami Levin makes her first start. 3 E's in the midfield. Becky Edwards has the captain armband today, along with Edmonds and Evans. And up top, speed on both flanks with Jamia Fields and Jasmine Spencer. Sarah Hagan is the central forward for the Pride. Traditional home uniforms for Orlando, purple jerseys, purple shorts. Boston in white jerseys, blue shorts, and away we go from Central Florida. Referee is John Freeman for this afternoon's match. And space early for Boston forward Eunice Beckman. Shot well wide.
And of course, we know of the Orlando 4-3-3, typical for them to play at home this way. One of the things, of course, to mention, as you and I talked about in the opening, the amount of players they lost to the national team call-up, of course, for the Summer Olympics. So it's going to be interesting, especially with a new goalkeeper now. First starting game for her, for Savage, and now with a new flat back 4. So it's going to be interesting, just the communication and how they come out, especially in the first 10 minutes of this game.
Talking to Breakers coach Matt Beard before the match, he said that preparing for Orlando was a nightmare because he had nothing to compare it to, really no idea how they were going to come out tactically and what the personnel was going to look like.
That's a great point you bring up. Normally with your national team players, if you're Sermani, you know you can play that 4-3-3, and of course when you change the personnel, when you change the players, you start to wonder, do you play with a stopper sweeper? Do you go with 3 in the back? And of course, he chose to stay with the same format, 4 in the back. However, as you mentioned, trying to get ready for that when you don't have no film, nothing to compare to, it's a bit of a challenge.
Sam Whitteman with the throw for Orlando, and she is getting a workout up the near sideline. The third throw in a matter of about 30 seconds for the 5'3" player who normally is in the midfield, asked to start on the back line today. Played back toward Kaylin Kyle, alternate for the Canadian women's Olympic team. Called the Canadian coach, asked if she could stay in Orlando, continue to train as Tony Presley plays it inside the box. Spencer pursuing. Edwards and Edmonds each with a header as Boston gains possession.
And that's one of the things where I think Orlando's going to have the advantage of having those 3 center mids in Edmonds, Edwards, and Evans. 3 players have been together for most of this season. You know, some of them coming in and out of the lineup. However, they managed to log in pretty good minutes in the middle, and just their movement on and off the ball, it's great for this Orlando Pride team.
Match delayed 50 minutes as a result of weather. I think both teams would say they would gladly take that as Whitteman makes a run right on the edge of the box. Crossed in and handled by the back line of the Breakers.
And you saw right away that overlap run all the way out of the back from Whitteman. Fields was able to play the ball, the through ball into the space. So just because they're playing out of the right and left fullback for Orlando, just keep in mind that they have that green line to go up and down, and that's one of the reasons why Coach Armani loves to play with that flat back 4, but they release the fullbacks really well.
The rain decreases the temperature by about 10 degrees, humidity just above 50%. That is a huge break for all the players on the field today, especially given the lack of depth for Orlando. Expect that most of these players will be out there for the full 90. The temperature was in the mid-90s earlier today, humidity much higher. And both teams maybe an opportunity to be more aggressive given the mild conditions.
And of course, humidity always a factor here in Orlando, but you know, with the rain, a little bit lucky because now the temperature drops. As you mentioned, if the temperatures would have stayed in the high 90s, then you wonder how many of these players, you know, have it in their gas tank to last the full 90 minutes.
McCaffrey across the halfway line for Boston, greeted by Edwards. Nice find into space for Louise Shogard. Early test for Savage, she bobbles it, and a goal for Boston. Molly Pathman with just the 4th score of the year for the Breakers.
And that's exactly what I was fearing early in this match. Austin, I talked about when you have a new goalkeeper, when you have a new defense, what happens in the first 5 minutes. Great ball right here by Stephanie McCaffrey, split the whole entire line, and watch this. Keeper comes out, loses the ball because of the turf, and that's just a tap-in right there for the Boston Breakers. Great break. What a great chance they get here to capitalize, and she wasn't going to give that one up. Molly Pathman putting the first one to the back of the net.
So Boston jumps in front early. A team that has been just awful here the last couple of weeks. They gave up 7 goals in a loss 2 games ago. Most recent result was a 2-0 loss against Seattle, in which they managed just 3 shots on goal, but an early mistake by Caitlin Savage has put the Breakers in front.
And as bad as this sounds, Austin, now that you made that mistake, you need to put it behind you, forget about it.
Spencer maneuvering for a shot. That's knocked down. And it'll be a goal kick for Boston.
Yeah, great job by Spencer, getting in the box.
First season for Matt Beard, 38 years old. Won back-to-back FA Women's Super League titles as the manager of Liverpool. He took this job because he wanted a challenge. And he certainly has it with a once proud organization that has been at or near the bottom of the NWSL table the last couple seasons.
Yeah, but he's the type of coach who's got vast knowledge. Of course, he comes out of the Liverpool Academy in England. Just to finish my point with Savage in the back, as a goalkeeper and as a player, once you make a mistake of that magnitude, when you change the game, you need to forget about it. There's early in this game, plenty of time, and you know what? You need to keep going. Now that's out of the way. The jitters are out of the way. Great chance here for Orlando Pride.
Fields knocked down by Westfall. So free kick for Edmonds from about 25 yards out.
Keep in mind that Orlando Pride has this set piece where Fields runs to the near post. Sometimes Spencer with that speed.
A good ball from Edmonds and saved just before it got to the net by Jamie Kranich.
And that's a great free kick right there. Great driven ball to the near post, far post in the middle. Right there, good run out of the back from Orlando. You want to send one near, one far, someone in the middle. Want to create some numbers up. Good chance because you make contact, and all you want to do is just make contact with the ball, create some chances.
Boston has given up 24 goals this season. That's the most in the league. So you figure Orlando is going to generate opportunities. Just have to take advantage.
Well, especially out of the set piece opportunity. Anything around the box, anything out of a corner kick, free kick, set piece, you want to take your time. And as you mentioned, for the Boston Breakers, a team that's been kind of struggling defensively, so you want to maximize your potential anytime you have anything around the box.
What confidence for Boston to get that early score. It's a team that has rarely played with the lead this season, but they've got it here on the road.
And look at what he's doing for them so far. As soon as they score their goal, now they're playing out of the back. Now they're finding spaces, they're finding those gaps. They're coming out of the back playing. That gives you a little extra push. And of course, that guy right there is going to figure out how to bring it back and how to tie it up.
Tom Sermanni very pleased with the training the last couple of weeks. Said it's been a collective effort of everyone stepping up to try and fill the void of the 6 regular starters lost to their respective national teams. A little bit of indecision from Presley allowed Shilgard to have a chance at the ball. And a foul conceded, free kick for Orlando.
Yeah, a little bit of a late tackle right there. Shilgard gets a call from that. He's got the ankle a little bit late. The referee close enough to call that. And you mentioned for Coach Tom Sermanni, not the way he drew it up on the board. And of course, you don't expect to make some of those mistakes personally, but they're bound to happen every once in a while. The key here for Orlando is how do you bounce back, especially just mentally. You give up an early goal.
Terrific read by Maddie Evans to regain possession for Orlando. Hagan got jostled, and as a result, Boston regains possession.
Yeah, Hagan's got to do a little bit of a better job holding the ball. She's playing that number 9 position, kind of a post-up forward. So she's got to be able to hold the ball because you have two speedsters on the outside. You have Fields on the right and Spencer on the left. Even though they're going to switch, they're both right-footed players, but you got to be able to hold the ball and then send them through.
Beckman wrapped up Evans, reason for the Boston foul. Quick restart by Orlando. Whitteman trying to get Spencer on a run across the field. Easily handled by Kranich. Breakers with a goal in the 5th minute. First of the season for Molly Pathman, just the 4th of the year scored by Boston. Presley extends the right arm. Beckman goes down, but no whistle.
And you see that physicality right there of Toni Presley. Just definitely a physical presence for this Orlando Pride team. The other thing, she's got a great left foot, driven ball that she can play, just like Whitteman on the left. They're two players who love to go out of the back. They can drive the ball into the space, into the gap.
Kaylin Kyle, normally a midfielder, but moved to the back line. Tom Sermani really likes the way she competes, her ability to communicate. Felt like she would be an integral part of their success on defense.
And one of the great things about Kyle is the fact that she's so versatile. As you mentioned, normally she plays, defensive center mid. You can throw her out wide. Now she's playing as a center back, but she does have the ability to read the game so well. She loves to go 50-50 and win those challenges. So for her, playing in the back is going to give her a little more time to read the game and to see the game coming out of the back.
Handball on Edwards. You can see he has that captain's armband, normally worn by Alex Morgan. Fields coming back to defend, poked it away from Westfall, and it will be an Orlando throw. Beckman absorbs a push in the back from Presley, and the official on the near side with the flag up for a foul.
Yeah, the referee having a quick word with Presley, Toni Presley, who stepped in a little bit too much of a push from behind, and you have to be careful. It's a good thing not to let the forward, in this case, Beckman, turn, but at the same time, you don't want to overdo it because now you gave a free kick right outside the box, and it gives Boston also a break, a chance to cool the tempo of the game.
Left foot of Shilgard coming up is Savage, knocked out to the top of the box and cleared by Edwards. Wonder what the nerves of Savage are like after mishandling a ball that led to that early goal.
Yeah, I think now she's come down a little bit, and it's normal. It's normal to get into a game, and of course, your first, start in this league, you're just fresh off the training grounds, your first debut, so it's tough sometimes, but now with that happen, I think she can just go back to the basics and forget about it, move forward.
Spencer unable to thread it to Fields. Headed up in the air by Presley. McCaffrey one-on-one with Whitteman. Throws her to the ground, and it's a foul on McCaffrey. And they get a card.
I tell you, great job by Samantha Whitteman, just selling it as well. You can tell, watch her left arm right there. She goes underneath. She raises her arms, saying, hey, I'm being pulled from behind.
Whitteman clearly impeded the progress. You could tell McCaffrey just got increasingly frustrated with not being able to get away.
Absolutely. One of the best things she did is she put her body between, McCaffrey and the ball. So now you're forcing her to go around. And of course, she did a great job selling it, acting a little bit, getting your arms up in the air. Referees behind you, and then the linesman's in front of you. So great job by selling that play.
John Freeman called over McCaffrey. Quick chat, but no card issued. Headed forward by Julie King. Here's Evans for Orlando, bringing it to the near side, Whitteman.
And that's one of the things that Orlando needs to do a bit more. Just swing
Spencer on a run. Too much pace on that ball from Edmonds, but a nice idea.
Yeah, she's offsides as well. I was going to say they need to play the east-west ball side to side a little bit more, and then be direct and play the through ball. Right now, they're picking up their heads. Of course, it's tough when you have two very fast forwards like Fields and Spencer. You want to go direct because you know the type of velocity they can produce. But you know they're really fast. So, but if you're able to go side to side, then you're going to open up those lanes. Then you can play the through ball to put those players one-on-one situation.
Pride have been excellent at home this year, 4-1. Only loss coming in their last match, a 2-1 decision to Portland, in which Orlando conceded 2 goals in the final 15 minutes. That was a disheartening defeat, a chance to take down the top team in the league on your home field, and Orlando let it slip away.
And that was one of those games that, we thought that Orlando had them. They went up 1-0 with a little bit more than 12 minutes, and then two quick goals unanswered, and they didn't know what hit them. But you're right, that was pretty much a chance to shock the league and add some points at home.
Orlando with another quick restart on the free kick.
And it's that ball right there that Orlando has to be a little bit more patient, play the ball, switch the point of attack. Do not go forward until it's on. And if it's not on, just keep the ball. You will find that gap.
Fields, a little touch in the inside to Edmonds. Beckman coming back to defend, giving Edwards no time to survey the field. Kyle, deep ball to Whitteman. Was able to get to it first, heads it over the end line for a goal kick.
Yeah, Samantha Whitteman just going down the line, making that far post run. Good job by Kyle, though, looking to switch the point of attack. That is the diagonal ball that you want to get somebody in. However, good job by Orlando finally putting together some side-to-side passes, and then you can hit that diagonal ball, trying to do some damage behind the defense from Boston.
Presley with a step on Beckman. Heads that ball over touch. Julie King doing a lot of organization before that throw in. Ball deflects to Edmonds. Orlando currently in 6th place in the 10-team NWSL. Top 4 make the postseason. That's the goal for this expansion team. Made no secret of wanting to make the postseason and feeling like it was a realistic goal.
Yeah.
You see they sit 3 points behind Chicago for the 4th and final playoff spot right now.
And that's, the severity of that game they gave away against Portland, where they could have added points, of course, and then Portland would have been the -3. But you're right, in order for them to make the playoffs, it would be considered, a great goal, especially being a first-year franchise. And I think they're starting to play better, especially at home. They're able to play their style. Of course, you and I speak to Coach Tom Sermani all the time, and things are getting better. They had a super short preseason, so it doesn't help them. 2 weeks after they started, they had their first game, so it's kind of tough to put things together, especially when the season it was upon you.
And everyone acknowledged that this was a really important stretch. This is the 3rd of 4 consecutive home matches for Orlando. The last one will be next Saturday against Chicago, the team that currently holds the 4th spot. If you can get a win and a draw, a couple of wins obviously would be ideal. Set yourself up to be in the top 4 going into the Olympic break, and then once that ends, you get Morgan, you get Harris back, you get your entire back line as well.
Correct. But one of the things you said in that statement, it was the fact that you get to add points, and of course, the team you would be beating, in this case Chicago, you hold them at the points they have, you keep adding, and of course, like as you mentioned, you're buying yourself a little bit of a time, get some time for the national team players to get back, and then you can regroup and go forward.
Whitteman with too much pace as Edmonds was making a run towards Kranich.
On the other side of that coin, Austin, is some of these players who haven't gotten a lot of minutes, a lot of quality minutes, this is their chance. We spoke about Savage. She finally got a chance to come into the league. not the way you want to start, that opportunity. However, you're going to have time and you're going to have a little bit more leadway because of those national team call-ups. So it's up to you to capitalize that chance right now.
Evans gets it to Edmonds on the run. At the corner of the box, she will let it go right into the stomach of Granic. And this speaks to the depth of the league. Even though Boston is at the bottom of the table, they've got just one win this season. There are quality players across all 10 teams, and there are truly no easy games despite who you're playing against.
Yeah, you're right, and that's a testament of how good and how close the league is. You mentioned, a league that is pretty close. If you look at the majority of the scores, it's either a 2-1 or 1-0. Of course, you have every once in a while your 4-0 game, as we see the referee going and reaching into his pocket for what I think might be the first yellow.
Spencer, that left arm in the neck area of Brooke Elby.
Yeah, and it's that extension of that left arm that he's calling. Elby was never aware that Spencer was coming so fast, and all of a sudden, you can tell from where she's grabbing the back of her head. She got hit from behind.
There'll be a national championship at North Carolina.
And once again, look at that left arm right there. Is that extension? Even though Spencer is going for the ball, I think that might have been a little bit of a contact with the head as well. She was challenged for the ball, so that's why she didn't get that yellow card. She was making a challenge towards the ball.
Fields and Spencer have now flipped sides, so it was Fields that was making the run up the far sideline. Spencer has moved to the left forward spot.
And that's one of the great things when you talk about a player personnel that Coach Tom Sermoni has. When you have the ability of like Jamia Fields and Jasmine Spencer, you can switch them. They both have the ability and the speed to go up front. Now, they're both right-footed players. So when you're on the left, you can cut the ball in the inside, and now you're going to be facing the goal with your predominantly right foot.
Shogard, a quick touch to the top of the 18. And she continues to pressure. Levin making her first start of the season. That'll be Savage. Boots it wide toward Whitteman.
And Cami Levin is one of those players that I was referring to that's been waiting for his chance. Now finally it's here, so you're hoping that she can do the job on the field and hopefully make a run at that starting job.
Admire Levin's perseverance. She started the season with a hamstring issue, fought through it, saw the field for the first time in early May, played about 30 minutes. 3 days after that, she went through an emergency appendectomy, hasn't played since. Shogard gets the ball on her left foot, knocked down by Edwards. Presley gets her right foot on it.
And the challenge about that, you're talking about, Cami, is that you're never really fit like the rest of the players. So now you go to preseason, you're, taking care of a hamstring. And as you know, hamstrings are so difficult to judge. Just when you're feeling better, you go to a full-out sprain and you feel it again. So now you're out for another 3-4 weeks. And as you mentioned, the surgery, the procedures you have to get done. So now you're playing catch-up as far as how fit is the team and where you are. Once again, you're looking to get that chance again. And of course, fitness is a factor. You got to get fit like the rest of the players.
All over touch on the near sideline. We're seeing high pressure from Boston. Matt Beard told us before the match that's the way they like to play. Didn't think they would be able to do it this afternoon because of the temperatures. But again, we're in the mid-80s after heavy rain rolled through downtown Orlando.
Yeah, definitely that rain helped before the game, but you're right, though. You have to be very selective as to when you're going to press. You know the dimensions of this field, every bit of 120 by 80, so maybe about 110. So you need to know when you're going to press, because if not, especially with the temperature, even though it's in the high 80s and not in the 90s, you don't want to be gassed in the first 20 minutes of the game and then you don't have the legs to press.
Another throw for Julie King. She started every match this season for Boston. She played a season of college basketball while she was at Auburn. Pretty gifted athlete and comes from an athletic family. Older sister Caitlin, also a soccer player for the Tigers. Edmonds pops it toward Fields. Now out wide, here's Levin, who's come forward.
Look at that great job of Orlando switching the point of attack. 3 touches, now they're on the other side. And what he does, the whole Boston Breaker defense had to slide to the other side. And now you can find those seams, you can find those gaps, and now you can play the through ball in the middle.
Fields trying to post up a Boston defender. Whitman had her arm up, trying to indicate that McCaffrey was offside. No indication from the official on the near side.
Yeah, McCaffrey was offside, but you and I saw the linesman putting his head down, meaning that McCaffrey had no chance to get the ball. If she would have tried to get the ball, then the linesman would have lifted that flag. But you're right, the ball went through, and she just kind of let the ball go. Good job once again by that flat back forward, staying, keeping that shape.
Beckman with a sprint to try and prevent Edwards from gaining possession. She gets up a little gimpy. Cleat right in the lower back area she went down.
Yeah, you can tell she's still holding on to that part of the back. Quick restart from Orlando.
Spencer trying to do some damage on the left side. That's going to be a corner kick. Good work one-on-one with Kristen Westfall, the former Florida Gator. And that's considered a win for Spencer. First corner of the match for Orlando.
It is, because that's when you take a player on, you get the corner, now you can send numbers up. And as we know, Orlando, they have a couple of set pieces. As you see Spencer close to the corner flag. So what you do then now, you just drew 2 of the Boston Breaker defenders.
Edmonds at the top of the 6. Presley not quick enough to get to it before it goes over the end line.
Yeah, Edmond doesn't quite drive the ball the way she should have. She got a little bit too much under the ball. And when you get under, Austin, you give chance for the defender. It's just the ball is just going to hang in the air. You want to drive it with a purpose. Either you're going to go near post, far post, but you want to drive that ball. Make sure you make good contact with somebody's head.
We spent time talking about the players that Orlando has lost due to the Rio Olympics, as Beckman makes a run. He's got it at the corner of the box toward the top of the 6, a sliding effort, and the ball will roll harmlessly over the far touchline.
Outstanding ball right here by Beckman. Look, she picks up her head. Look at this ball, just a bit off right there. McCaffrey with a great tackle, a great job playing the ball. And with that in-swinger, you want to invite the goalkeeper out. Savage, who stood on her line, it is so dangerous because a lot of the times it would hit you as a defender and it's going to end up at the back of the net.
Shilgard bangs it off of a Pride player, and this will be a corner kick for Boston.
That actually could have been Molly Pathman on that chance from the left side from the Boston Breakers.
Shilgard, one of the players on this roster that was with Beard in Liverpool. Beard was able to coach Shilgard out of retirement in January to sign with the club. Left-footed corner is booted out by Levin.
And it always makes a difference when you get that call from that special coach. Who's coached you in the past, who you have that mutual respect and understanding. When you get that call and say, well, if you are going to be the coach, maybe I'll think about coming out of retirement because you know it's going to be worth your while, and also you're going to have a bit of fun as well.
Shilgard, a native of Stockholm, Sweden, retired abruptly at the age of 24. Now has laced it back up with Boston, and she's got one of 4 goals scored by the Breakers this season. One of them came earlier this afternoon in the 5th minute. Molly Pathman putting a ball in the back of the net that was mishandled by Pride keeper Caitlin Savage, making her team and league debut.
Yeah, Molly just got an early Christmas present right there, courtesy of Savage and the turf as well. If you're not used to this turf, Austin, it takes you a little bit to get used to it. And you can tell by the way she came out, she just kind of fumble the ball. And of course, Molly just did not disappoint and was able to put that in the back of the net.
Whitman right into the space occupied by Evans. Edmonds looking wide. Can't get it to Fields. Beckman with a firm touch. Possession back to Orlando.
Look at Boston in the back, so compact. They keep their shape so well. Even though they're playing flat, they know if there's a ball they're going to give up, it's the one over the top. But their goalkeeper, Crunch, has been doing a good job just staying around the 18. So they're going to take their chances. They're going to keep everything in front of them, and that forces Orlando just to play the ball back and forth, diagonal balls, because there's nothing behind them as far as playing the through ball right now.
Presley carries it forward. Big boot towards Sarah Hagan. You can see Orlando a little bit frustrated. Hagan with her head down as that ball sailed over her head. We endured a weather delay of nearly an hour before getting started here at Camping World Stadium. Glad you're along on this Sunday afternoon for our third of 4 Orlando Pride broadcasts here on Bright House Sports Network. Breakers in front, courtesy of a Molly Pathman goal in the 5th minute. Just past the 30-minute mark of the 12th match in Orlando Pride history.
Great job.
Back to 500 with a win today.
Yeah, great job by Fields, just closing that gap. That ball was going to go through. And you mentioned getting to that 500. It's so important, especially mentally, for your team to know that you're adding points, you're going forward, you're turning things around.
Edmonds chests the ball down. Terrific work by Edmonds. There's a cross toward Kranich, right at that front post, and easily handled.
Talk about the work rate by Edmonds, Kristen Edmonds, all over the place, playing defensive center mid for this Orlando Pride team. Made a great run, great technical ability. She trapped the ball. She was looking for that far post on that cross, not able to turn her hips. She hit the ball and went near post, right into the hands of the goalkeeper from the Boston team. I think this is that, not sure if it's a water break or she actually got hurt.
Westfall slowly walking to the Boston bench. 3rd overall pick in the NWSL draft. More expected out of her with Whitney Angen with the U.S. national team. One of the best defenders in the league. Hagan commits a foul. She has not gotten many opportunities to touch the ball.
No, you're right. You saw the grabbing by Julie King to start with right there. You see it. And of course, Hagan doesn't like it. And now that's what happens. When you don't get the call, a lot of the times you're bound to commit a foul. And of course, referee got to that second foul.
Cassie Coleman who drew the foul. Coleman, 24-year-old from Woodbury, Minnesota, the only player on the team to play every minute of every match this season, and she is the captain for Boston today. Beckman in between 4 Orlando defenders. He lost possession.
Yeah, Orlando closing that gap right away. Tony Presley wins the ball, but Kyle was there.
Spencer, so great in 1v1 situations. Beat one defender, a second came, and a trip. Spencer writhing in pain, and a card has been issued. That's going to go against Brooke Elby.
Great job taking the player one-on-one right there by Spencer. And you can tell she was so late that by the time she tackled, she gets that yellow card. Brooke Elby. And she's complaining about, look, you can watch it on the Jumbotron, she was late. And that's what you want out of the 1v1 situations. You want to get around that player on the outside. You can cross the ball, but once you start doing that, you can open up those gaps that we've been talking about, and you want to create more situations. You want to get some numbers up for Orlando here.
That's just the second foul of the season committed by Elby. And we are going to get an official substitution for Westfall. So she is not able to come back in. Kristen Westfall done. Elise Krieghoff comes off for Boston. Edmonds with the free kick. Knocked toward the back post. How did that get through all those players? And Beckman now controls it.
Great job by the goalkeeper. Long driven ball to the far post. You can tell that ball was looking for that upper V top shelf in the far post. Once again, look at this. And this is the driven ball I was talking about from Edmonds. She's got the ability, and that thing was going top shelf for sure, far post. Great one-handed save. Give credit to that, goalkeeper, because that could have been the 1-1 right there.
Kranich, 9 goals allowed in the last 2 matches. Her goals against average is above 4, but you would not know it based on how poised she's been in the opening 35 minutes.
Another thing I like about Kranich is she has the ability, not only is she making great saves, but she has the physicality to come out and she commands her box. That save right there is the type of save that goalkeepers with great, presence in the box can do. Most of the other goals will go back to the line and wait for that shot, but she came out and she owned that box.
Levin trying to play it through to Fields. She will get there before it goes over the touchline. Jamia Fields can make something happen. Spencer heads it. And Boston will work out of trouble.
Orlando putting a little bit of pressure. And that's what they need to do, especially being down 1-0. You get the sense that all they got to do is we see this late call right here. Kyle with a foul. She does not like the call. The referee about 2 yards away.
Kyle shows her disgust. She is not afraid to let her opinion be known.
Well, and her contention was that she got the ball in that tackle. Of course, there's a way to get the ball and the player at the same time. Referee not too far away from that.
Kyle engaged with Krieghoff. Both went up to try and head that. Fans, mark your calendar now for the 2016 National Women's Soccer League Championship on Sunday, October 9th at BBVA Compass Stadium in Houston, Texas. Be there to support our league, support our game, and hopefully support our pride. McCaffrey has space. Presley coming to try and close it down. McCaffrey. Presley able to slide. Terrific defense by the graduate of West Shore High School in Melbourne.
Presley with a great timing tackle right there, because watch this. Right, the one-on-one, McCaffrey's going to go to her left. Presley doesn't dive. She finally gets the ball, and Kyle gets rid of it right there. Great timing, though, because that ball had some serious danger.
Presley, an All-American at West Shore High School. And college soccer at Florida State. All of Orlando's good scoring chances have come on set pieces. Haven't generated much against this compact Boston back line and goalie Jamie Kranich.
And see, look at Kranich out of the back. Cool, calm, and collect. Great distribution from her feet. She's going to slow the things down, knowing that they're up 1-0. Orlando taking a little bit too long to make those decisions. Maddie Evans. And when you're playing center mid, you got to be able to get rid of the ball. You do not lose the ball in transition, especially right now. They're having, their way right now against Boston. They're able to put a little pressure. And look at that, 1-2, a lot of space.
Edmonds on the left foot, off the post. She can't believe it. What an effort from 25 yards out from Kristen Edmonds.
And that's what happens when you start creating those gaps. You see the 1-2 in the middle of the field with Maddie Evans. Edmonds gets the ball again, lets it go from about 25 out. Even though she's not a left-footed player, great strike.
Spencer blazes her way past Elby. Got it inside the box, goes down, but no whistle.
Julie King just stood her up. Another angle right here. Watch this. She looks up, left foot shot. Man, goalkeeper had no chance on that. Granich looked it up. She wasn't going to get to that ball. But all this play right here, Austin, happens because of that 1-2. It gives you the ability to gain space, to gain that space behind the defense. Now they're facing the wrong way, and now you can go at them right on top of the 18.
Kyle easily able to get to that goal kick and knock it forward to Fields. Within 5 yards of Kaylin Kyle.
And you can tell that's a center mid playing right fullback right there. You can tell how composed she is on the ball.
Offside flag up for Hagen.
Once again, they're playing a little too direct for my liking. They have the ability to keep the ball. They don't have to go so direct. Last time they kept the ball, you saw what happens with Edmonds taking that long range shot. Got to be able to do that again. Keep that pressure
by
up.
Edwards. Fields is on. She's inside the 18. And that rising shot well over the crossbar.
Maddie Evans with a great ball out wide. Jamia Fields with loads of times by herself. She took that first touch, rushed it a little bit, tried to go far post, but she's got more time than she thinks. And of course she hits that ball so hard that sails away. And you can tell she could have gone far post. Maddie Evans was making a run to the far post again. It could have been 1-2, but at least now Orlando's creating some chances.
Much better build-up from the Pride here the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, look at how wide their fullbacks are, and that gives you that that width. And now you can switch your point of attack with the Presley to Kyle, and out wide, you got Levine wide open.
Hagen able to get the ball down to her feet into an open area. Boston first to get there. McCaffrey. Here's Krieghoff. She should have some pace. She just came on. Edmonds back defending, and a throw in for Boston.
And I tell you, ever since she came off, Krieghoff, she's made some great runs. And of course, as you mentioned, she just came in with a full gas, full tank right now. So she's making those great runs, and they got to be able to use her. Give her the ball. She's got the ability to get behind the defense and have some great crosses as well.
It's just the third game in which Krieghoff has appeared. Fellow Californian Elby with the throw in for Boston. Spencer does well to keep that ball in play. Hagen unable to beat Julie King to it, and Boston will look to switch the attack to the far side.
And Elby, of course, is sitting in that yellow card against Spencer. So now she knows she's got to be a little bit smarter about leaving her feet in the tackles.
Evans nearly won that ball away from Katie Shepfer. That would have been big trouble for Boston. Final few minutes of the opening half here at Camping World Stadium. Boston with the only goal. Breakers scored it in the 5th minute. First goal this season for Molly Paffman. And to this point, it is standing up.
And if you think that's pretty much the only chance they had, after that, you know, a couple of shots from far away. After that, it's been pretty much Orlando Pride. They were able to find those gaps, or able to find that space behind.
Savage well on top of the box to come out and thwart that run.
Now you can tell the difference in Savage after that incident. The first 5 minutes, she's been cool. She knows when to come out. You know, you can tell it was just the jitters of, you know, debut in this league with this new team for her.
It's combination by Orlando. Edmonds. Here's Fields on the run.
And see, once again, once you get the triangulation going, 1-2, play the ball behind.
switch the point of attack. Now it opens up the whole width, and now you can play those penetrating runs. You can send Fields, you can send Spencer in the left. A lot of other choices you have.
Molly Pathman knocks it forward. Another ball on the field. Kaylin Kyle came up to head it.
And now Boston is forced to play that negative ball every time. There's no easy way out for them. Orlando has definitely closed the lanes, especially in the middle of the field. Give them the longest route, give them the outside. And of course, now they're forced to play all the way back to the goalkeeper.
Boston content to knock it around in the back. Take this 1-0 lead to the locker room. Captain Coleman back toward the keeper, Kranich.
I think they were just as shocked as we were to go up in the score so early when they found that ball loose in the top of the 18.
1 minute of added time. Certainly enough of an opportunity for Orlando to try and build something up here. Poor touch by Kyle. Shilgard gains it for Boston.
Look at Edmonds once again tracking so fast. We talked about Orlando's ability to, go get the ball. As soon as they lose it, they're going to track back. And you see Edmonds once again doing that defensive job, coming back, winning the ball. And now you can look forward to get the ball to go forward again.
Really productive half for Edmonds, including that left-footed shot from 25 yards out that banged off the post.
Once again, Spencer tracking back, and it's great to see your forwards tracking back and winning the ball.
Fields comes inside. Not on the same page with Hagan. And there is the whistle from John Freeman. The first half comes to a close with Boston in an unfamiliar position. The Breakers will take a lead to the locker room. Just one victory this season. Boston hasn't won a road match in nearly 2 years. But they're in position to do that here in Orlando. 1-0 Breakers lead over the Pride as we head to the locker room. Stay with us. More to come from Camping World Stadium after we come back. Back at Camping World Stadium, 1-0 lead for Boston here at halftime of the National Women's Soccer League on BHSN. We are privileged to be joined up here in our broadcast booth by Orlando Pride goalie Aubrey Bledsoe, generous to come upstairs. Aubrey, thanks for taking some time with us.
Of course, thanks for having me.
I know you would much rather be down on the field.
Yeah.
This is your time, essentially. You suffered a broken fibula. Tell us about that, and how's your recovery going?
Yeah, it happened a couple weeks ago in training. I was non-contact. I was coming out for the ball, and as I went to slide, my foot just kind of got caught under my body. I fractured my fibula. Going to be out until about September, but just to not rush things, I won't be here for the rest of the season. So yeah, it's an unfortunate injury. Terrible timing with Ashlyn being gone, but that's how the game goes. And working on one day at a time, getting back, and eventually contributing for the team down the road.
How difficult has it been knowing that this was essentially the opportunity that you were going to have? You knew that this was coming for a while, that this was going to be the first game that Ashlyn was away with the U.S. national team.
Right. I'd kind of had July marked on my calendar as, my big opportunity. And as a backup goalkeeper, you're always being prepared for, you never know when your moment might arise. But really strong in my faith, and I know that I'll be back and I'll be stronger, and everything is in his plan. So
now you've taken it really well, and Aubrey has a twin sister, Amber. So you guys decided to play a little bit of a joke on Coach Sermani. Take us through how you arrived at this and what it was like for you.
Yeah, so my sister came down just to help me out a little bit. I was off my feet, and we love just kind of pranking people. And in high school, we would, switch places. And so the team was like, "Oh, let's prank Tom," because he was the only one who didn't know that she was there. So I was like, "Yeah, take my crutches out, go on the field." So she crutched out, and the girls were warming up, and then you see Tom there. It's like, "Oh, how are you doing?" And she's like, "Yeah, doing great. Gonna try running around." So she's like, "Yeah, throw your crutches all dramatic." And so she jogs over, and the team's all cheering her on, like, "Yeah, Aubrey." And I think Tom is just in disbelief. This was maybe a week after I'd fractured, my fibula. Like, how am I running?
A miraculous recovery, and
so
they actually
they
encourage Amber to do a little bit more, and Coach Sermani, no, don't do that, don't do that. That was a really interesting moment. I know how close you are with your twin sister. You guys also went to an open casting call for the Amazing Race. What inspired that?
We've been wanting to be on the show ever since we were kids, just because we're both adventurous, super competitive, and we think we'd be great for the show. I knew this was coming to Orlando, so I'm like, you got to come down for this. This is our chance. You never know what could come from it. So we had a minute to say why we should be on the show, and maybe we'll hear something back.
Well, wish you the best of luck with that. If you make it, you'll certainly have a lot of fans in Orlando cheering for you. Aubrey Bledsoe, thanks so much for spending a few minutes with us. Best of luck on a speedy recovery.
Thank you.
1-0 Boston leading Orlando. Eddie will rejoin me. We'll have halftime highlights and stats when you come back. Tickets for the NWSL Championship game go on sale Monday, July 11th at 11 a.m. Log on to bbvacompassstadium.com. Prices start at just $20. Start making plans now to be in Houston for the NWSL Championship. Back here in the broadcast booth, Austin Lyon, Eddie Rodriguez, 1-0 Boston. Other than the mistake by Caitlin Savage, it's been a very even game so far.
Pretty much, we talked about, we knew that Orlando was going to be playing at home, take care of chances, but we never expected Savage with just that early mistake. After that, she's been great, but nonetheless, that's been pretty much the difference in this game.
Take you through the highlights. Louise Shilgard plays the ball into the box. Molly Pathman takes advantage of the bobble, and that made it 1-0 in the 5th minute. Orlando generating some chances off of set pieces thanks to Kristen Edmonds.
We talked about Edmonds' ability to be everywhere. Watch her. Left-footed in-swinger looking for that far post. And watch this cross right into the box. Great save by the goalkeeper. But she's pretty much been the catalyst for this Orlando team. Once again right here. Great shot right outside the box. Hits that cross. That could have been the 1-1 equalizer for Orlando.
Left footer from 25 yards out that ricocheted hard off the right post. What, if any, changes should we expect to see from Orlando in the second half?
Not much. I think for Orlando, it's just a matter of keep doing the same things you were doing, creating chances. The only thing I would like to see, and I'm sure Coach Tom Serman is going to talk to him, you got to be able to keep the ball a little bit longer. Do that side to side, then you can play that through ball, then you can go long or be a little more direct. Other than that, they're playing good, solid defense, and they're creating chances. It's just a matter of time.
11 consecutive road losses for Boston, but the Breakers have the halftime lead, 1-0. See what develops in the second half after this. About to start the second half here at Camping World Stadium in Orlando. 1-0 Breakers lead the Pride here on BHSN. Let's take you through some of the first half statistics. Each team with 3 shots on goal. What else stands out to you, Eddie?
Well, I think to me, it's not just the shots on goal, but the quality of the shots on goal from Orlando. There were true quality chances, and of course, give credit to the goalkeeper, Jamie Kranich, who had some great saves. Other than that, it's been pretty even. Of course, fouls. We talked about the physicality of both teams, you know, and 1 yellow card. So other than that, pretty close game. The way we expected, I would give definitely Orlando a little bit of the better half.
Boston outscored 17-1 in their last 5 matches entering play today. But it's 1-0 Breakers as we start the second 45 minutes. Boston seeking its second win of the year. Orlando trying to get back to 6-6, a 500 mark, and 18 points overall. No changes for either side. Lone substitution of the game made by Boston. Elise Krieghoff coming on in favor of Kristen Westphal.
Yeah, Spencer gets pushed from behind. Great chance here from Orlando once again. Edmonds on the ball. We know she has the ability to drive that ball. She can just dink it to the far post, make some good runs. And of course, we also see Toni Presley. She's got that left foot bomb. She can strike it from there. She can serve the ball. Good choices for Orlando.
Given the build-up here, you would expect maybe a quick touch from Edmonds and Presley to have a go. And there is Presley, well wide of the goal.
Yeah, and you called it. It was a quick set from Edmonds, and you know, Presley would love to have that one back. She leaned back a little bit too far. Rather than lean into the ball, put your weight over the ball so you can drive it. You don't put it over.
And a bit of a revolving door in goal this season for Boston. Libby Stout started the first few matches. She got hurt. Abby Smith came in. Smith was doing a pretty solid job. She suffered a torn patellar tendon, done for the season. They went back to Stout. Now it's Kranich making her 3rd consecutive start. Difficult for a back line to have consistent communication with different keepers coming in and out of the goal.
It is. Everybody's different in goal. You know, you have different, just the way you know, the presence, how you come out, how you dictate the flow of the play as far as, you know, organizing your defense. Of course, when you're a goalkeeper, you have the best view on the house. You have to be very vocal. And of course, as you're being, you know, commanding, if you will, in the back, telling people what to do, a lot of the players get upset if you yell at them. So, you know, you got to get that chemistry between the goalkeeper and the players in the backfield.
Shilgard taking on Edwards. Handled by Savage. It was her mishandle that led to the only score of the game. Molly Pathman goal in the 5th minute.
Well, I'll tell you, Savage knows now that she has to remain solid for the rest of the game. And if need be, she needs to be the savior, the hero of this game. If there's a shot in the 90th minute where she needs to come up big for this team, she needs to make up for that mistake in the first half. As a player, you know it, but at the same time, you put it behind, or you try to anyway. You don't let that bother you for the rest of the game.
Headed down right to the foot of Beckman. Beckman will let it go from distance, just over the crossbar.
I'll tell you what, man, she hit that one so well. Talk about 30 out. Beckman looked up. You know, she saw the Savage was a little bit out, and she was looking for the far post. Watch that ball dipping right at the end. If that thing would have had a couple more yards behind, that could have very well been the number 2 for Boston.
Beckman signed by the team in May. Scored 10 goals in 28 games to help Bayern Munich win the Bundesliga title. A player with a lot of talent who hasn't quite put it together yet. Evans very upset as she goes right at Shilgard, who'll be given a yellow.
Absolutely. Evans does not like them. The reason being is she got hit from behind not once but twice. And as a player, watch this. That's one. And here's the second one. Even though she was trying to get to the ball, of course, speaking of Shilgard. And of course, you get the first yellow for her, second yellow for Boston.
16 fouls this season committed by Shilgard. She's issued a yellow. Brooke Elby was shown a yellow in the first half.
And I tell you, I like that about Maddie Evans. You can tell she just did not like that tackle from behind, almost like she got up in her face. And there's a fine line between getting somebody's faces, but at the same time, Austin, it's a matter of pride. Somebody hits her from behind, and at least she came up, and you can see the nerve. You can tell she wants to win. That's a competitive right there.
Levin back toward Kaylin Kyle. Obviously, with the 6 starters away with their national teams, it's not a deep bench for Orlando, but Tom Sermanni does have a couple of players he can call on. Christina Birkenrode and Danny Weatherholt both available, along with Leah Fortune, midfielder who earned the team's final roster spot in May, but has yet to see the field this year.
And I tell you, Austin, you bring up a great point. This is a great chance, just like we talked about, the goalkeeper was hurt at halftime, where she had, in red letters, July, when she knew that the call-outs for the national team, so that was going to be her chance. These players, see Spencer going to the line, these players from Orlando City who haven't logged a lot of minutes in the field, they know that it's just a matter of time right now. So this is when they know they got to bring it, and they play good quality soccer.
Matt Beard, 1-9-1, a guy who has a reputation for turning teams around. Inherited a difficult situation in Boston, hoping that the second half of the season is more fruitful.
Yeah, you can tell by that last take that he was not happy. He's not happy with the performance of the team, even though they're up 1-0. But to him, I guarantee you, it means nothing because the game's not over. He wants to see the team play better quality soccer with a little bit more of a identity, if you will.
Again, we've harped on the players Orlando is missing. Boston without Whitney Angen and Kaya Simon. Angen had been a part of 2 of the team's 3 goals this season coming into the match. She had a goal and an assist. Here's Edmonds finding some space and letting it go right toward Kranich, who was able to scoop it up.
Great idea by Maddie Evans, just splitting the 2 defenders right there. Watch this ball right there, right in between the seam. And of course, Edmond looks it up, takes a great touch, tees it up, looking for that far post, but once again, is that center mid that I like. Edmonds, Edwards, and Evans, always so dynamic in the middle, always looking for each other's feed, always looking to go forward.
Presley bangs that over the near touch line, not taking any chances with Eunice Beckman.
Almost taking the referee out in the process.
Tom Sermanni, native of Scotland. 16-year career as a player. Coached the Australian and U.S. women's national teams.
I tell you, I love having conversations with Tom. He's got the ability to foresee the players he's got. It's almost like he's always one step ahead. He knows, even with the call-ups for the national team, he knows this was going to be a great time to bring some other players to give him some chances.
Shilgard ball bending in, and the offside flag up.
Great ball into the box, but the linesman doing a good job. Right on the line, and as soon as the ball got driven to the far post, the linesman was lifting the flag. Getting back to Tom, he just has that ability, that experience that gives you not only as a player, but as a coach. When you coach at the high level, you can tell that this team is finally getting that identity. Oh, that's a bad foul right there against Haggard.
That's Julie King. And Orlando trying for a quick restart. Edwards kicked it off the back of one of the Boston players.
Yeah, Hagan not happy with that foul.
Goes over everyone's head, chased down by McCaffrey. One-on-one with Levin. Got it to her right foot, and that one not struck properly.
Stephanie McCaffrey looking for that in-swing or far post.
And we'll get the second substitution of the match for Boston. Rachel Wood is going to come on in favor of Katie Shepford. Wood started 8 of 10 games in which she appeared last year, has not seen the field as much this season. Well, Wood's got a great backstory. Native of California, was a national champion in North Carolina as a freshman in '08. She was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, an autoimmune disease which affects the bowel. A testament to her work ethic and character that she was able to overcome that and make it to professional soccer.
You know, sometimes people are, challenged with some physical elements and some illnesses, and you're right, talk about character, and for her to fight through that and just fight the edge really to make it to the pro level.
Shilgard in the corner, and that rolls over the end line. It'll be a corner kick for Boston. Shilgard has been a nightmare for the Pride back line.
She has been all over the place. She has the ability to collect the ball, good on the ball. So, yeah, she's just one of those players that she's a nightmare to keep in, to keep in check.
Miss hit by Krieghoff. Goes back to Wood. That one high as well. We've seen 3 shots taken from that area. All of them have sailed over the crossbar.
Yeah, the reason for that, anytime you're going to lean back, of course, you're going to put the ball over. You need to lean over the ball. You need to put your weight over the ball. That's going to propel you to keep your head down, and therefore that ball's going to be driven. And instead of leaning back, kind of like a field goal attempt, where you lean back and you want to get some height in that ball.
Levin a push in the back on McCaffrey, no whistle. Kyle thinks she sees space for Fields, trying to outrun Pathman. Able to get it before it rolls over the touchline. Pride won their first 4 matches at home this season, lost their last outing to Portland, 2-1. Hagan giving chase as that's headed out of trouble by Wood. Kyle right behind McCaffrey. And Orlando regains possession. Fields knocks it back toward Kyle. She'll look to flick the attack with Whitteman. Build up here by Orlando. Fields slips in between 2 defenders. Left foot off the back of a Boston defender. Headed to the top of the 18, and Beckman will boot it out of trouble.
And you get the sense, Austin, that Orlando is just almost forcing the play. They're trying to get that through ball on the ground, but almost like forcing it. The player hasn't developed yet, and if it's not on, you cannot force it, as we see this bad foul once again against Spencer. And Brooke has to be careful because she does have a yellow already.
They'll be not mincing words with her frustration about that call. It was a battle with Spencer that led to her yellow back in the first half.
Edmonds on the ball again.
Right to the head of Julie King.
That's when you got to take your time a little bit longer and just wait for your players to get in the box, wait till you get numbers up in the box, and then deliver the ball where it needs to be.
Edwards trying to find Hagan at the edge of the 6.
Yeah, Hagan has done a better job posting up as a number 9, as a forward. You saw last time she checked to the ball, she got, trampled pretty much by a couple of the defender from Boston. She got taken down, but a lot of the times that's what you do as a number 9. You hold the ball, you draw the foul right outside the 18, and of course that's going to be a good chance for your team for a set piece.
Bright House Networks offers TV everywhere with the BHTV app. Bright House customers are able to view live stream television outside the home. Channels include Bay News 9, News 13, and Bright House Sports Network. Download the app today on your iPad, iPhone, Android device, or Kindle Fire HD. Whitteman knocked down by Wood, who has been active since entering the game.
Yeah, Whitteman gets taken down. Quick reset.
Beckman pursuing Whitteman. have another chance. That gets to Kyle, and offside flag.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that call. Of course, you can tell that Kyle's not happy about it either. I think she was doing a good job keeping that line, that offside. And here it is once again. If you look at that line, yeah, we can't see the bottom of that screen. Yeah, she was definitely off. Good job by the linesman. And as a forward, of course, her being a right fullback or as a center back, it's tough not to want to go forward. So you have to be careful. You got to see the ball when it's played. Then right after that, then you can make a run forward. However, when the ball is touched, you have to be at least even, not to be offside.
Wide for Fields. 2 defenders. She got away from both. Crossed it to the 6. And Boston able to clear it. Krieghoff running past Kyle, who tried her best to impede the progress. Matt Beard felt like there should have been a foul instead of throwing.
Great job by Kyle, though. She knew she didn't have the pace. And just very clever. She just got on her way. Roach just right in front of her. Elise Krieghoff, you know she had the wheel. She was going to run around, and I think the referee might have called that obstruction. No, it is a throw-in.
Long run by Pathman to take the throw. Headed forward by Edwards. Now here's Angela Salem. Haven't called her name much today for Boston. 27-year-old midfielder from Akron, Ohio. Delayed whistle. At the right call from John Freeman. '62nd minute here at Camping World Stadium in Orlando. Pride conceded a goal early in the match. Boston has been in control since. 1-0 Breakers. Coleman with the free kick. Headed out by Whitteman. Now right at the edge of the 18. Good opportunity for Salem, a rising shot.
Yeah, once again, leaning back. She had enough time to trap the ball. Salem found the ball right around the 18.
Acquired from Washington for a couple of second-round picks in her first season with Boston. Hagan giving chase, manages to save it.
Yeah, and if you're Orlando, you need to figure out that what you're doing right now, it's truly not working, especially in the second half. They haven't created anything just clear. They got to be able to possess the ball a little bit more as Spencer gets goal once again in an offside spot, offside position. Once again, as soon as she plays that ball, you can tell great job by the number 5, Casey Kalman in the back. She realized that she was going to be off. Spencer was going to be on, actually, so she took 2 steps forward, left her offsides.
Whitteman goes to the ground, right to the feet of Salem. Here's Pathman. She's got the only goal. That gets up and over Presley. Whitteman heads it forward. Rachel Wood trying to use her size advantage on Maddie Evans, gets whistled for a foul.
Yeah, she did that. She challenged that, but of course, extended her left arm, and she gets called for the foul.
Wood, the tallest player on the field. She is listed at 6 feet. 26-year-old from Laguna Niguel, California.
Well, not only is she tall, though, but she's solid. You talk about having a good frame and having the ability to use that size.
Spencer giving chase. Able to keep it away from Julie King and turn to the inside. Spencer will give it a go. And from distance, Kranich has had no problem with any of those shots.
A little bit too far for her range. Of course, we've seen her score goals from outside the 18. That one, however, was a little bit too long of a shot. And you're right, the goalkeeper, Kranich, has all the advantage. She sees that shot from way out. She has the time just to come out and collect it.
McCaffrey Able to save it from going over the end line to a breaking Beckman. Didn't strike it well.
Wow, Beckman with a great chance right inside the 6. Great setup by her teammate Stephanie McCaffrey, who caught the ball in the end line, played the ball, and of course, Beckman, not a left-footed player, puts the ball way over. And as we see, Kyle in some serious pain.
Kyle missed some time earlier this year with an ankle sprain. Training staff out to look at her. One of 4 alternates for the Canadian women's national team. She won bronze with Canada at the 2012 Olympics.
And I think it's her ankle again.
A look at the national team players for both teams. Alloway and Catley for Orlando. Kaya Simon plays for Boston. And Catley and Monica had played every minute of every match for the Pride until today. Jose Ballanger currently training with the Canadian national team. And 5 that hope to represent the United States in Rio. Whitney Angen training with the national team. Christy Mewis is actually still with Boston. She is injured. We've seen McCaffrey here today. Harris and Morgan with Jill Ellis's group that is getting ready for the Rio Olympics.
Tom Sermani trying to figure out the right combination of players, the right way to type this game up. And you can tell they're a good team, they're a good disciplined team. They can turn this around. It's just a matter of putting some passes together and getting it done.
Kyle did not leave the field, so she's back out there. McCaffrey. As Krieghoff goes down. There's a shot just wide. Good strike.
Good shot. Shilga right outside the box, gets around the defender looking for that outside pose, but you can tell her hips were facing the outside. That's why she wasn't able to hit the frame. You can tell Savage wasn't gonna be able to get to that ball.
Shilgard continues to have success, and she's got some space. It's it to Beckman. Presley defending, and that's going to be a corner kick.
You know, you mentioned that Shilgard's been all over the place. She's been a nightmare for this Orlando Pride team to mark. And you're right, she plays the ball so quick, she gets it, she does the 1-2, and by the time she gets that ball back, Austin, she has lots of space a lot of times like she did in that last one, and that's what's so important and so dangerous for Orlando. They got to be able to find a way to either you stop her or you stop the ball going to her.
Pride lacking energy here the last couple of minutes. Boston trying to seize command and take a 2-goal lead. McCaffrey. Attempted touch to the outside for Julie King. And the throw in deep in the corner for Orlando.
And that's why I was telling you that the standings are deceitful when you have a coach like Matt Baer. You know, a guy who's so methodical about doing the right things, the little things. And those are some of the things he did at Liverpool, the academy, just doing the little things during training. They're gonna get you those results, those wins during the weekend. Of course, they haven't done so, but you can tell they're on their way of doing something good. As you mentioned, he was put in a tough situation coming in to try to save this team.
He inherited a squad that finished at the bottom of the table last season. Boston had 4 wins a season ago. Finished second to last in 2014. Beckman took it away from Kyle. Plays it to the middle. Too much on that touch for Krieghoff, who was coming in late.
Right, Beckman had a wide open Elise Krieghoff right in the middle. Hit the ball a little bit too far, and what happened is she played the ball with the outside of her right foot. Has she loose? If she would have used her left foot, it would have been just a touch right over there. She was wide open, making a great run in the middle of the field.
Levin dribbling on to the outside for Fields. 2 defenders in front of her, a third backing them up. Fields trying to win a corner by banging it off the foot of Molly Packman. Instead, it's a throw-in for Boston. And we're going to get first substitutions for Orlando, a couple of them. Danny Weatherholt and Christina Birkenrode, both ready to come on for the Pride.
Yeah, Cammie has been kind of quiet in this second half, making those runs out of the back. Levin, but I like the fact that she has the ability to go up and down. Of course, she tried to play that ball into the corner for Fields.
Hagan comes off along with Becky Edwards, who gives the captain's armband to Kaylin Kyle. Well, Tom Sermani hoping that Birkenrode and Weatherholt can come off the bench and provide a spark for Orlando. A couple of 22-year-olds now out there for the Pride.
And you know, this is around the time, the 70th minute, when you bring a couple of players who have fresh legs. We talked about how the width of this field and the length. So you want those 2 players to come in and definitely make a difference in this game. They have fresh legs, and if you can play that side-to-side game, you can find those gaps behind the defense. You might be able to get the equalizer and maybe put the game winner as well.
Both of Spencer's goals the last 2 games have come in the second half, in stoppage time against Houston and midway through the second half against Portland.
And against Houston, it was kind of the same situation with Coach Tom Sermani. Had 2 subs that paid dividends right away. The 2 players, Spencer was one of them that came in. She had the game winner.
Hagan was the other. She had the assist.
And yeah, that's right. Hagan with a great job posting up and playing that number 9. She started today, so you know, it's one of those where a lot of the times players coming off the bench can be so much more successful. You know, you get players who are great off the start. You get players who are just great coming off the bench.
I invite you to share your thoughts on this afternoon's game. The hashtag is ORLVBOS. And our handle for Bright House Sports Network at BHSN.
But the player who's just consistent for this Orlando team is Edmonds. Once again in the middle, she defends, she tackles, she's driving balls to the far post. You see her on every single set piece for Orlando. And, you know, she's one of those players who can play 90-plus minutes. Definitely fitness is not a factor for her.
Birkenrode trying to chip it toward Levin. She was offside. Orlando trying to avoid a second consecutive home loss. Portland dealt the Pride their first home loss in franchise history 2 weeks ago, 2-1.
And that was kind of a devastating loss for them. Just when you and I thought that they had the momentum going forward, they had just scored the first goal in a matter of pretty much 10 minutes. You know, the away team was able to just put them away. Portland, of course, if you remember, with a great flick on ball by Sinclair, the Canadian international, and that's how it all started for their comeback.
Weatherholt punching that ball toward the end line. Kranich well out of the box to control it. Forces Fields to come all the way inside the 6-yard box.
Danny Weatherholt, another one of his Orlando midfielders who just is coming in with the last 20 minutes left, looking to make an impact for the Pride.
Weatherholt's got some bounce in her step. To the outside for Beckman. Fouled Whitteman in the process of trying to work around her.
Yeah, Whitteman was trying to get to that byline. Ran out of real estate right there, trying to keep the ball. And of course, when you're marking Beckman, that's just a handful right there. She's explosive, she's fast, she's good on the ball as well.
Orlando trying to go quickly. John Freeman forces ball about 8 yards back of where Spencer was prepared to throw it in. Fields got around a defender. 2 more coming on to help. Knocked out of play by King.
Fields took care of 2 players, and then the third one, you know, what do you say when you're going 1 against 3, right? This is late in the game for her.
Right on the edge of the penalty area. Presley heads it forward. Beckman keeps it in play.
And at some point, Austin, you would think that Coach Tom Sermani would go with 3 in the back rather than 4 and try to get an extra forward. If you're playing at home, you're going to try to get that equalizer. You see this great cross. Savage, just enough to divert that ball.
It was maybe 1 step ahead of Beckman, who was ready to knock it in.
Coach Matt Beer likes that. He got up from the bench and started clapping, saying that's the right ball, that's the right attitude. And of course, any chance that ends up in a shot.
Kranich will come out as Spencer sprints toward it. A little bit more than 15 minutes remaining in the match. Boston trying to end a run of nearly 2 years without a road victory. Last time they won July 25th of 2014. 4-2 victory over Western New York. Matt Beard will make his final substitution, opting for Brittany Ratcliffe. Eunice Beckman, who had a lot of positive contributions to the attack for Boston, will walk to the bench.
Oh, absolutely. She was all over the place, talking about a physical player. She left it all on the line. And of course, Brittany Ratcliffe coming in, trying to add a little bit of a spark plug. Now for them, it's about how do you keep consistency in the middle. I wouldn't be surprised if that was a substitution of forward for a center mid. Yep, that seems to be the case, where you see Brittany Ratcliffe just going to the middle, if not the left field spot. For them, it's just about shutting it down right now. Keep the flat back four nice and tight. Keep your center mids and your outside players nice and, you know, tight in the middle as well. And you're just going to keep one forward on top.
So Ratcliffe is on, the rookie from Virginia, 17th overall pick in this year's draft.
Yeah, you can tell that shape has changed a little bit for Boston. He's going with 5 across, 4 in the back, 5 in the middle. And of course that lonely forward in this case.
Birkenroad, nice ball. Levin crossing it over the face of goal. Fields arriving late. Ball knocked back, shot and saved by Kranich. Nice build up there from Orlando.
Great job once again. Look at this cross to the far post, goes over everybody. Fields trying to get a hold of that, doesn't quite get it. And that shot right there, just to the goalkeeper's hands. Watch this angle right here, but great idea. She didn't have a lot of time, so she had to go direct. And I tell you what, had she put that ball anywhere else, probably would have had a chance. However, great build-up, as you mentioned, from Orlando. They're finally getting some 1-2 combinations going.
Great strike by Weatherholt. And Orlando will use its final substitution. Leah Fortune making her debut for Orlando. Jamia Fields is done. Fortune, 25-year-old from Chicago, earned the team's final roster spot in May. We would love to make her debut memorable and try and equalize.
That's a player, when everything is just said on a platter for you, where you can come in and truly be the hero. That's a sub forward for a forward. And as you mentioned, you know, it would be great for her to come in and just truly make an impact in this game.
Halfman knocks it away from Edmonds. Spencer, one-on-one. She is awfully dangerous in these types of situations. Quality defending from Kallman, who gets physical with Spencer as she tried to pursue that ball before it got over the end line.
Yeah, the captain doing a great job just getting to the byline and just not giving anything to Spencer. Watch this angle right here. Doing a great job putting her body between Spencer and the ball. That way Spencer has the longest route to try to get to that ball and just shielding the ball. Keep it nice and secure. Once again for Orlando, you have plenty of time. Put the ball down on the ground, create some width, give your team a chance. Don't force it. And once you can find those gaps, then just go at them.
McCaffrey goes wide on Kyle. Just disrupted her enough. Ratcliffe playing it into space. And coming out is Savage.
A little bit of a dangerous ball by Savage.
Halfman on the 50-50 ball with Birkenroad. Fresh legs out there for Orlando in the person of Birkenroad, Weatherholt, and Leah Fortune. Fortune making her Orlando Pride debut. Kyle heads it right to the feet of Angela Salem. And a quick throw in. You could see Weatherholt, her energy is providing a lift.
Yeah, you can tell she came into this game with a higher tempo, knowing that she needs to provide that spark. She needs to be that catalyst coming into the game. She needs to be that that driving force for Orlando Pride in the last right about 9 minutes plus stoppage time. But they have time. They just got to figure out how to put it together.
I figure with Kyle's injury and the substitutions that we've seen, figure on at least 3 minutes of stoppage time that would be added.
Yeah, and that's why I keep saying that they still have time. When you think, well, 10 minutes is not a lot, it is. By the time, you know, there's been plenty of stoppages throughout the game, and right now they have the momentum. Right now, they've been able to create some chances. You can tell pretty much Boston is just kind of sitting back a little bit. The only thing they have going for them is just that counter. Now, keep in mind, they're great at the counterattack. However, as a system of playing the last, let's just say 13, 14 minutes, you got to be able to keep the ball a little bit better.
Kyle, long ball to Spencer. Evans with some space. No one stepping up to challenge the Pride midfielder. There's Spencer. Headed down by Weatherholt. She absorbs a shot from Rachel Wood. It looked like Wood actually got the worse off of that collision. It's a foul against Boston.
And we talked about the physicality of Wood. Watch this challenge right here. Spencer not able to control the ball, and that was just a body check right there. Good job, Weatherholt, just staying strong, keeping her ground. And that gives the Orlando Pride a chance to go direct, get some numbers forward.
Weatherholt, the youngest player on the roster. Edmonds and Presley on the ball. It'll be Presley with that big left foot. A few feet over the crossbar.
And once again, Tony Presley, if that's the route you're gonna go with, you have got to put your weight and your body over the ball, especially your head. You gotta lean forward so you can drive the ball time and time again. These players are just leaning back, they're getting under the ball, and the result's still the same, getting the ball from the 35th row to the 40th row up in the stands.
Weatherholt had it poked away by Shogard.
Edmonds did not like the little sequence, losing the ball. She understands the importance of keeping the ball, make some positive touches going forward. If you gotta take that negative ball, you gotta make sure you keep it. Great ball diagonally by Presley. That's one of the things she does so good. I'm surprised we don't see more of that, especially late in this game here.
Edmonds carries it up the near side. Got Birkenroad on her right. Edmonds drives the ball to the edge of the 6. Spencer was there, but just 5'1". Evans maneuvering for a shot. Kranich to her right and able to snare it.
It's a great idea from Edmonds, looking for Spencer in the far post. Drives the ball a little bit short. If you're Orlando, you cannot just rely on just one forward. Spencer feels just left, the pitch. He's not playing anymore, so you got to send some numbers forward. Of course, Birkenroad came in. You got to go forward. Weatherholt came in. Fortune came in.
Shilgard taking her time to get up. Got an Orlando player down. That's Maddie Evans. Trying to get a quick stretch in.
Yeah, Maddie Evans has been so active in this game as well, and so is Shilgard. Probably by far the player from Boston who's been running the most.
Shilgard has been tremendous this afternoon.
I'm sure if we had a tracker in her, I guarantee you she'd probably locked at least anywhere from 6 to 7.5 miles running out of the center mid spot for this Breakers squad.
Birkenroad plays it back toward Kyle. Kyle, long ball for Spencer. Boston defense prepared for that. Evans backing up. Here's Fortune. Fortune with space. In between two defenders. Spencer bumped off her line and unable to get a shot away.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to get around the defender if you're Spencer. They're going to play the bump and run game, especially look how compact they are in the back for Boston in the back. Those flat back 4, they convert into 5 because the outside mids are coming back. So now you have a straight line that the only way you're going to get around that is doing white 1-2s right on top of the 18. You're not going to be able to get behind with a long ball.
Orlando desperately trying to get a result here at home. Boston trying to end a road losing streak of nearly 2 years. Weatherholt coming on for Edmonds. Out wide, Birkenroad. Not enough pace on that touch. And it's knocked forward. Presley giving chase as McCaffrey has an opportunity. McCaffrey to her right. Off the leg of Presley. And knocked over the end line by Savage. A huge save to keep Orlando in it.
And that's what I was talking about with Caitlin Savage. Late in this game, she was going to have to do that to make up for the first mistake. Great job. McCaffrey with a cut, once again finds the ball by Presley with a great save by Savage, because that would have been game over right there for Orlando.
Shilgard taking her time, getting to the far corner. In the 88th minute. Only goal came way back in the 5th minute. Whitteman right to Shilgard at the corner of the 18. Ratcliffe has time, cuts it back to her left foot, and dribbles out of the box.
And you can tell where their priorities are. They're more aware and, happy if you keep the ball than even going forward. Ratcliffe could have taken a shot, but she opted to play that negative ball, and that tells you their mindset.
Given away, here's Edmonds. Coleman, the captain, is back defensively. Edmonds goes down, and a foul called right outside the edge of the box, and a yellow has been given. Now a red to Elby, a double yellow.
I've been calling Brooke Elby, and I said she was sitting on a yellow. You have to be careful. Great job once again. Who else? Edmonds. She draws the foul, and whether you can say there was a lot of contact or not, great job by Edmonds selling it. She sold a little push right there, and once again, Brooke Elby sitting on that yellow. That's the second yellow. Now she's out of the game. Unfortunately, not enough time right now for that to make a huge difference. Boston's going to defend with 10, but nonetheless, great job right here. A great opportunity for Orlando right outside the 18 for a free kick.
Well, credit Edmonds for drawing the foul, but based on that replay, not nearly enough contact to be shown a yellow.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. Even if you're going to call the foul, that's not a yellow.
No.
We know that. So you have to give that credit to Edmonds. You know, she has the ability, of course, to run everywhere. She's poised enough to late in this game to say, you know what, I'm gonna make this little dive and sell it. An unfortunate situation for Brooke Elby, who's had a great game. You know, like I said, those are the things you have to be careful, because even if he's not a yellow.
Edmonds so dangerous on free kicks. There's a shot, it's in! Excellence from Edmonds in the 90th minute to tie the game.
Outstanding finish from Edmonds. That's pretty much the perfect game for her. We've been talking about her the whole broadcast. She can do it all. She can defend. She's won some great tackles. She can lead the team. She can assist. Watch this placement of the ball to the far post. In swinger. Nothing the goalkeeper can do. Kranich, watch this placement one more time. She put so much spin in that ball. And once again, she's the one who did the whole play. She drew the foul, got the red card, got the second yellow. What a great finish for her.
And now 3 minutes of added time, and Orlando has a man advantage. Boston playing with 10. Now the focus on trying to maintain getting a point for the Breakers. Orlando trying to steal 3.
Yeah, and Boston is just going to be content with that. They're going to sit back and they're going to defend with everybody behind the ball. And if they don't, they should. I'm sure Matt, their coach, knows all about it. You can tell he's just calling them to stay behind, keep that shape.
Here's Edmonds. Popped it over the defender. Spencer running on. She's taken down, and a foul right outside the box.
And let's see where he plays it. Outside or inside. Once again, King gets called for that foul. Because I tell you what, Spencer was gone once again. I don't know that there's enough for a yellow card. I think she got the yellow card because she was the last player. But if that's the case, if she's not the last player, that's a straight red.
As we've seen with any ball on the right side of the field, it'll be both Edmonds and Presley that line up over it.
Could this be it? Could they get it done in another free kick, another set piece right now?
Fortune will let it go. Just over the crossbar. Great effort from Leah Fortune.
Great idea, going right over the wall, near post, trying to in-swing that ball. Watch this, she's trying to go over the wall, near post, just gets a little bit too high.
Well, that is 5 feet or less away from being in that upper right corner. We're about 2 minutes into the 3 minutes of stoppage time. Heart-stopping finish here in Orlando.
And this is when you got to use players like Tony Presley, who's got the ability to drive the ball out of the back. Even Kyle, put the ball down and drive it.
Presley with the bicycle kick, trying to find Spencer. Edmonds has it on the ground. There is Presley. She'll let it go. Save is made. Coming on Evans for Spencer. Just too far out in front. What a flurry from Orlando here in the closing minutes.
Great shot by Presley. That's what I was talking about, that great lift foot shot. She lets it go right there. Evans to the far post. And Spencer just a little bit late. That would have been a tap in.
Here's Spencer. It's Edmonds. It's in! It's in for Edmonds! And Orlando has taken the lead!
Got to make sure she's not her. She took a head-on collision from Kranich, the goalkeeper who came out.
Players calling for the medical staff immediately.
Edmonds once again. Watch this, Evans with a one-timer. Spencer lets it go. Keeper comes out. Yeah, she gets body checked with that hip right into her rib cage right there. This is a great angle right here. And yeah, you can tell how she just gets body check right there. What a great goal, achieved with the goalie. Right around the 18.
Tom Sermani has told us on more than one occasion that Edmonds has been their best and most consistent player. And there has been no better example than this match today and the closing 5 minutes put together by the 29-year-old from New Jersey.
And I tell you what, we haven't seen a perfect performance by any player who's pretty much has taken the whole team on her shoulders. And that player right there, Edmonds, has done that today.
Yellow card has been shown to Kranich. One more look at a vicious collision.
And I'm not sure that Kranich has the intention of making contact. She's coming out and she's cut up in what we call no man's land. You're not there, but you're not back either. So you can tell she's actually in the air, and as her body is rotating in the air, you almost don't have control anymore. She collides with a player, but what a finish by Edmonds once again to give Orlando the lead.
No intent whatsoever. Just trying to prevent Edmonds from getting off a shot or block that shot. And all credit to Edmonds, a perfectly placed touch. And it started with Leah Fortune playing the ball forward, making her debut for the Pride. She gets an assist on what looks like will be the game-winning goal.
Once again, Tom Sermani with the right combination, with the right changes. And watch this free kick once again. Edmonds to the far post. That was to tie it up. And watch this clinical finish right here. Goalie comes out. Nice little chip with the shoelaces to make it 2-1.
And the final whistle has been blown by John Freeman. What a finish here in Orlando. The Pride steal 3 points. Edmonds in the 90th minute, and then again in stoppage time at the death. The Orlando Pride get a 2-1 win over Boston.
That's pretty much a testament to this whole team, to the coaching staff, because just 2 weeks ago, that's kind of the way they lost to against, a Portland team. When they thought they had the game, Portland came back and won 2-1. Today, their day, all thanks to Kristen Edmonds, who was just all over the place defensively and, of course, offensively with 2 goals. She pretty much did it all.
Simply incredible. And Edmonds nearly a third on a ball that hit a bar post in the first half. Otherwise, she might have had a hat trick. A look at the 3 matches until the Pride hit the Olympic break. We will have the next home match for you, end of a 4-game homestand against Chicago on July 16th. And then 2 road matches, July 23rd against Seattle. And they'll face this same Boston Breakers team on July 31st, 3 weeks from tonight in Boston at 6 p.m. Boy, Eddie, you can't script it much better than that. Kristen Edmonds scores twice in the closing 4 minutes of the match, and Orlando gets 3 points in thrilling fashion.
I tell you what, it doesn't happen often. I haven't seen many games where you can actually pull it off at the end. And when I kept saying that right around the 80th minute, they have enough time, that's what I was envisioning. However, a lot of the times you run out of time, you score the tying game 1-1. But of course, Orlando Pride, they found a way to give themselves a chance, and they find a way to get it done.
Well, the fans that stayed around through a nearly an hour-long weather delay were treated to the best finish in Orlando Pride history. Breakers scored first in the 5th minute. Orlando gets 2 from Kristen Edmonds in the closing moments. For Eddie Rodriguez and our entire Bright House Sports Network crew, Austin Lyons saying so long from Camping World Stadium. Final score, Orlando 2, Boston 1.